Welcome to Biscuit 10 RPG, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. We know that we've had kind of a chaotic schedule, and we probably will for at least this particular showing. We have some scheduling issues that are coming up, not the least of which further into next month will be probably a little bit of a hiatus because I'll be moving. But I believe, and you can always find out, follow me on Threads at Biscuit 10 RPG. But I believe our next session after this one, just for housekeeping, is going to be the 13th. So we will have one, two, it'll be 3 weeks from today. So that gives everybody time to get all their stuff set up and everything they need to do for their scheduling. If that changes, we'll make sure that we update you. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump in to the recap from last session. Red to Black Session 4. The group started off their day being greeted by Johann, who was making the rounds. He may have sounded confident, but some of the intrepid heroes noticed something amiss with the bony lad. Despite this, they each ventured out on their own separate adventures, learning some interesting tidbits within Nox Valar. Others may be making friends, and others still meeting old acquaintances. They eventually gathered at a bar to finally take stock of their lot in unlife and get to know each other. This, however, was cut short as Johann walked in looking very disconcerted and concerned. I don't know why I put both of those. They're basically the same ish. Before the party could ask what was happening, a large crash could be heard outside. Johann ran to check what was happening, and the party followed only to see their chuckling funny bone pal crushed into ash by a pair of newly dead folks who somehow managed to fall inside the city proper. If that wasn't bad enough, the debris that was sent flying managed to stun and deal some pain to the party members. The party leaving Augustine looking at an Issa with her face hanging off her, well, face. And the rest of the party looking on as they noticed that one of the fallen looked an awful lot like Rizel. Now, before we get into what is actually happening here, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to read a little intro here. The impact of two intertwined bodies splatters the poor soul in front of you with a sickening thud. The central courtyard between the neighborhoods becomes quiet as every onlooker freezes. A pale woman with red lips and dark, blood-caked hair slowly pulls a sword out of her heart. The sound of the sword scraping against the ragged edges of the rend in her breastplate, screeching like nails on a chalkboard. The other blonde-haired soldier, dressed in ornate studded leather armor, rips spiked chains from around his neck and forces himself to rise, his speech ragged as he stares her down. Kelzer! Give it up already, I've won. You're actually dead this time. She responds with, Oh, who is a good little puppy, she sneers. You finally touched my heart. But as far as I can tell, the only dead person is... She shakes off the rapidly ashing soul they crushed into whatever that was. Now where were we, Janos? With a snap of her metal-clad fingers, the barbed chains zip back from around her opponent's feet into her gauntlet. A little lover's quarrel is good for the soul, no? With a pained sigh, Janos looks around, taking in the cityscape around him. His eyes immediately fixate on all of you, standing mere feet away. He responds with, Where exactly are we? He asks as several gargoyles land on nearby rooftops. Wearing the markings of the Nixian Guard, one of them shouts, Arrest them! Now, all of this happens in a matter of seconds. Before any of you can think to act and begin, sort of a sudden attack, you see Kelzer slip into Janos' shadow and zip way off into the distance. Janos, seeing the Nixian Guard staring down, yelling, arresting him, obviously scared, doesn't know what to make of this, takes off running. Now, what do you all do?
I'm running after Rizel.
Okay.
Full speed.
Same. I have
Okay.
the score to settle.
All right.
As soon as
Augustine's
Rosina
actually gonna-
sees,
One second.
What?
Let's go with Sarah. You were going first.
I was just gonna say, as soon as Rosina sees Icarus take off, she's gonna take off after him.
Okay. And Augustine?
She's gonna cast haste on herself, and she's actually going to she's gonna go after the other one, the one who
Okay.
showed up with Rizel, who looked scared and started running because one, that could get them in good with the Nixian guards, and two, she really doesn't want to tango with Rizel again, considering the last time she became a bunny rabbit.
And Issa.
Issa is going to cast Cure Wounds on herself, get herself under control. Gets me 5 more hit points and looking a bit more presentable, and then gonna follow the rest.
Okay. Are you going to be heading directly after one or the other, or are you just headed the general direction?
General direction.
Okay. So we've all decided that you are trying to hunt down and or capture. Are you trying to capture them more, or are you just trying to avoid the Nixian guard, or both?
Reva's trying to kill Rizel. She doesn't really care about the Nixian guard. So
Good lord! All right, fantastic. We know where you are. All right. So
Sorry,
in
I'm
that
going after
case,
Yana, so I guess
Okay.
I'm
I'm gonna
following.
stake her to a wall. Doesn't matter if it kills her.
all right. So we got Issa and Augustine going after Janos, and the other three are headed directly after Kelzer. Fantastic. Let's see. All right. So the first thing is, here we go. Challenging 8-point system. All right. So the first thing you run into is as you're starting this chase and they've taken off. As this has happened, there's been a lot of onlookers in the courtyard. People have begun to crowd at the chaos unfolding, and the unfortunate redeceased soul fading away before them as Kelzer and Jonas take off on foot. People pour out of buildings to investigate the commotion. So, you can attempt. They're going to attempt to break line of sight, and you can either try to break line of sight with the Nixian guard, or you can try to force your way through the crowd to try to catch up with either Kelzer or Janos.
Augustine will try to push through the crowd, especially since she has haste on right now. She can kind of do a little bit more as she's moving as well. So she's not concerned with avoiding the Nixian guard because she knows she hasn't actually done anything wrong.
Okay.
So her intent is capture Janos.
All right. So no matter what, it's going to be an average of all of your rolls, depending on what you do, on whether or not you are successful or unsuccessful on your specific goal here. So what I'm going to have you do, if you are attempting to break line of sight, I need you to either roll acrobatics or stealth. If you are trying to force your way through the crowd, I need you to roll athletics. And I will have my own folks trying to spot you.
That's a 15. Can I roar at the crowd to get them to part because the big ass bear is coming through?
also-
Roaring at them. There's a lot going on, so your roar is going to be kind of unimpressive in regards to everything that they're seeing going on before them. So unfortunately, I can't grant
Fine.
advantage on that one. But yeah, so it's going to be a medium. Go ahead and you rolled a 15. What did everyone else roll?
I got a 31 athletics.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do math now. Thank you, you absolute jerk face. All right, 31 plus 15. Okay. All right. Augustine, what did you get?
19 on athletics.
19 on athletics. Rosina?
I rolled poorly, so I got a 17 on athletics.
Okay. And I think I already got yours, didn't I, Reva? Yeah, you got 31. And Issa,
19.
19. Okay. We're going to go ahead and divide that by
I feel
the
like someone's gonna take up the bear.
5 of you. All right. Unfortunately, they begin to break away. That is one failure. So, you would think I would be prepared for things like this by having paper on hand, but I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this envelope. So that is one failure and one success for the Nixian guard catching up with you. All right. As you continue trying to catch up with them and doing this, despite fleeing separately, Janos and Kelzer seem uncannily in sync. To escape their pursuers with aerial superiority, both attempt to burst into the nearest residence and race through an unlucky sap's house, upending furniture in their wake in an attempt to slow down their pursuers. So, if you want to deal with angry residents, either scaring them with with a charisma intimidation check, or being assaulted by an assortment of flung kitchen utensils, you can either just take it, or you can try to intimidate them, or let me see here. You can also try to burst through in pursuit, dodging overturned furniture with an acrobatics check. You can also attempt other ways, such as an alleyway, to catch the prey on the other side, which will require a survival check.
Oh, I have advantage on survival, so or
Okay.
yeah. So I'm gonna do survival. That's a 21.
All right.
Would I be able to
Can
start
I?
doing my dance to get advantage on this roll?
I'm yeah. Dance around to try to avoid the things flying at you. Go right ahead.
Start juggling them.
It's
Can I
not
use
worth it.
thaumaturgy to cause the sound of an explosion to try to give me advantage on that intimidation check?
Yes, you absolutely can. You can take advantage on intimidation. So, Reva, what did you get?
After I added my bardic kit for my dance, so it's a 25 in total.
Okay. All right.
Can I get
And
advantage just because I'm following behind Augustine?
I will go ahead and give you advantage. Yes.
37.
Okay.
He has a
Sorry,
plus
mine's
19
higher
to
than that because I'm
intimidation.
25
I get- it's a
with a nat 20. Not that it matters.
Hey, you did it.
it's 31 because I've added another +6 to it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's fine. And which one
Sorry.
did you say you had originally? That was the 21, right?
I had the 25.
25. So that's actually a 30 what?
31.
31. Okay. All right. Looks like I got one more person I'm waiting on.
So that is a natural 1 for a hot 3 on my charisma check. This dice is in jail already.
All right. Well, on the plus side, even with that, you managed to succeed. So we've got 1 on the success rate, and that's good because had you failed this, it would have given you disadvantage, an additional heightened DC going forward. All right. So you managed to cut a little bit closer. You managed to avoid the things being thrown your way, scaring people out of the way. So they're like, "Oh, never mind. I'm not going to throw that anymore." That my frying pan is not going to terrify someone who can scream explosions at me. So, cutting through the houses, got Kelzer and Janos off one street and onto a major road running between the neighborhoods in preparation for the shepherd's feast. Large amounts of barter and trade are happening out in the street, a good chance to blend in or stand out. So, you can they're going to try to blend in. And if you want, you can try to blend in to avoid being seen by them. in this case, actually, you're going to be doing an intelligence investigation check to try to keep up with them. Since you are actively hunting, you're
Also,
going to go ahead and just cut that down to you're the predators.
Can I
also
can
proficient
I
in
attempt to give
investigation.
disadvantage by casting prestidigitation to project my voice to call out in a voice that I know that Rizel knows? Call out her name.
Who's
So it's booming over the crowd because I assume that both of them would probably turn and that would give them disadvantage on hiding from us because they're whipping around.
whose voice are you going to try to impersonate?
No, it's Rizel knows my voice. At least
Oh.
in
Well, she did
in
also
Augustine's
see.
mind.
Pelzer actually saw you, so she knows you're right in front of her. So she'll know that you're screaming. I will say that
Aren't
I
you and
will
her going
lower
after
the
the other one?
DC a little bit because that would be off-putting, at least for a moment, because they are kind of focused on what they're doing. This may distract them just a tad. Also, if you have an alternative to this, you don't necessarily have to do an investigation check, but know that they are trying to blend in. So how would you try to find them?
So I got a 25 on my investigation. So
Okay.
I guess I'm just like sniffing them out or something.
Okay, cool.
Can I?
Riva, take a bardic.
Thank you. I need it. Can I like jump onto the rooftops to get like advantage or something?
You want to try to climb up the rooftops? You're still kind of like at the edge of the window, so you can look down before jumping into the fray. I will give you an advantage on that. Yes.
You're also welcome to
What's?
jump onto Icarus and ride his back.
I'm bigger than you. What's the
The
bardic?
bardic is a D12. D12.
21.
Oh, it's a crit. Okay, that's good. So 20 minus 1 plus a d12,
Nice.
which is 6. So 25.
25. All right. Got two more.
So
Augustine was. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Nope.
Rosina.
I am rolling like trash tonight. So Rosina decides to guidance herself and also use a tactical assessment, one of her skills. And with all of that, it's a 10.
All right.
Augustine's method was the shout to see if she could see who turned at that or who reacted in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Which I hope with her huge passive that helps her a little, but not 20 for a 21 because it's intelligence, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Unfortunately, that is another failure. All right. You're still managing to see them. They're breaking away pretty quickly. Let's see here real quick. Okay. Let's go ahead and roll to see if they've gotten through theirs. Nope, failed. Success. And okay. So you got one here, and two here. All right. So I got some other math that I'm doing in the background. So far, you're managing because they've slipped up a couple times to try to avoid detection. That you are still able to see them. So they haven't made it out yet.
How far
Pelzer
away
and
are they?
yeah, right now they're outside of range of most things, and if you tried to attack them, you run the risk of hurting your fellow citizens because it is right now you're in the middle of what looks like a festival preparation. So trying to
Oh
attack
no,
them, ill-advised.
I was gonna vicious mockery, because that's psychic. So
Okay. I will say, go ahead and on your next turn, if you want to do that, I will let you do your vicious mockery, and whatever you roll, I will subtract that from their roll. So
okay.
Pelzer and Janos simultaneously decide to take a sharp turn that brings them face to face once more. Sudden violence erupts, putting the crowded street in danger before a guard crashes down upon them, causing them to flee once more. So, they are going to try to dodge. you have the option to either save innocent bystanders from Kelzer and Janos as they fire at each other by using a strength athletics check to knock them out of the way of the bloody chains, or a dexterity sleight of hand check to snatch a painting from an art display to use it to block Janos's crossbow aim. So you can use athletics or sleight of hand, depending on which one you choose to do, to try to help people and keep them distracted long enough. I will roll for them. Oh my goodness.
Alright. So I'm gonna vicious mockery Kalzair.
Okay.
I'm gonna shout into her head. He's shot through the heart, and you're to blame. You give love a bad name.
God damn it. Amazing.
That's incredibly rude, but I'll take it. All right. Go ahead and roll that damage and let me know how much I should subtract.
Wow, that's a 15.
Okay. Fantastic. I will consider that a botch on their part to try to avoid. So you will automatically gain 2 points of success from this, regardless of whether you succeed or not. So the rest of you.
Dirty 20. And can I Hellish Rebuke catching the crossbow bolt?
Yeah, it's not going to do much. So, and plus, by doing that, I believe since Hellish Rebuke has an area of effect-ish, you could potentially hurt people that are around them. I wouldn't recommend it. You can do it,
Fair enough.
but
I don't think it does. It's any creature within 60 feet of you. It
Cool.
doesn't have like a weather range.
Fantastic. Set whoever you want on fire. If you're blocking that arrow, that's from Janos, so you're gonna set fire to Janos. So go ahead. I will roll a save. It does not make it. However, he
Alright.
does use a resistance, and he
Alright.
automatically saves.
Oh,
I'm
heartbreak
just
and
trying to slow him
heartburn.
down.
Not a good day for him.
All right, Riva.
I rolled a 17 total on the athletics. So I'm just like muscling through people, honestly.
Okay. Gotcha. Knocking him out of the way, at least attempting to. All right, Augustine.
Augustine got a 26 on sleight of hand or painting. After she does that, however, I would like to break concentration on haste and immediately cast Arcane Gate. Because I assume they're within 500 feet, correct?
So who was hasted?
I was.
Okay, so haste unfortunately ends, and you are exhausted. You can't do anything until your next turn. So I'm going to go
Forgot
ahead and
about
let
that.
you have
Okay,
the
that's
roll that you
fine.
have, but next turn you will automatically fail yours, or at least not have it counted in there. Rosina.
So Rosina surges forward to protect people, and on a natural 20 for a total of 31,
Nice.
is hopefully able to save some folks.
Nice. Divided by 4. All right, that is a success. Fantastic. All right, you're closing in on them. Let's go ahead and see what the next one. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm going to go ahead and... All right, 2. All right. As a Nyxian guard flies into range, Kelzer entangles it with the chains from her magical gauntlet, using them in an attempt to steer as she is pulled into the air behind the now frustrated gargoyle. Janos, seeing it unfold, parkours up a building to its roof to take a shot, and then dives off into a food cart below. So they are going to try to ride the gargoyle, and you all are going to attempt to dislodge Kelzer and send her flying into a second-story window with a acrobatics check, or scramble up the building behind Janos by succeeding on an athletics check. That is your choice which one you want to do. Go right ahead.
Can I get advantage of something by dimension dooring on top of Calzer and just grabbing onto her?
Yes, you can. In fact, yeah, you do that. I will go ahead and let you make a grapple check to try to grab onto her.
Grapple would just be unarmed. Or would it be athletics to grapple?
Yes.
You said it was acrobatics.
Acrobatics, yes, to go up the thing because it's parkour.
Would it just be straight athletics, or am I getting advantage?
You will just be doing straight athletics.
Okay, so total is 18.
Okay.
I rolled
Unfortunately, that is. Oh, actually, I need you to roll to hit first because you have to see if you can actually even hit her to grab her. So we'll get back to you in a second. Issa, what are you doing?
I'm going up after him, and I've got an 18.
Okay.
Can I
Icarus?
cast Sacred Flame in front of him just to like distract him from with his shot? Like I'm not trying to hit him. I'm just trying to distract him.
Sure. Yeah, I'll let that go off. That'll give him a little bit of a negative. That's fine.
Cool.
All right. Icarus, what'd you get?
I got a 13 on acrobatics.
Okay.
He's not a graceful bear.
Rosina.
I got a 17 on the athletics check.
Okay. And Augustine.
Augustine's just trying to keep up. I thought my roll wasn't going to count anyway.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. My apologies. Divided by 3. All right. Part of this will hinge on yours. Janos will have some extra actions after this, but depending on how well you do, Riva, you may at least get one of them. So go ahead and roll to a hit.
Okay, to hit would just be unarmed.
Yeah.
Would I still be dancing from what I did earlier? The last
Yeah.
minute?
It's only been a minute. Yeah. You still got time. This is all
Okay.
happening very fast.
So then I have plus
Oh wait, hold
17
on.
for it.
No, I think each one of these is roughly a minute. So no, you're not dancing.
Would I be able to activate it again? Use another
Yes,
charge
as
of it?
no, since you're dimension dooring, I'm not going to give you the option to start your dance again.
That's fair. Okay. Then it's 8 plus 13, which is 21 to hit.
Okay, you hit. Go ahead and you can roll. You rolled an 18. All right, I got to roll against that. You manage to grapple Kelzer, and you both begin tumbling down. The gargoyle is crash landing. You both land on the ground. The gargoyle is dazed. We'll get back to you in a second. The rest of you are still running after Janos. However, you managed to distract him enough that he missed his shot, but he does still have a chance to run. Unfortunately, let's see here. After exchanging glancing blows, Janos doubles back toward the courtyard and attempts to shake you all. Kelzer being currently manhandled by, or lady handled by Riva, is currently out, MIA and out of commission at this moment. So he is going to try to stealth away from you all, and you are all going to either use magical or special abilities to keep pace. If you do not have any strength, if you do not have any magical abilities, you can use strength athletics to stay in pursuit, and you will make.
It was a great play.
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't using it anyway.
Well, I got to keep it up, so otherwise it messes everything up here. There we go. Come on, do the thing. Oh, okay, great. Thanks, Scriptly. Let me see if I can
We can
fix
just get
this.
rid of it.
Okay, hang on. I think. Nope. Sorry, everybody. Technical errors. We'll go ahead and finish up this scene real quick, and then we'll jump off camera for a minute to fix this up, and we'll be right back. Yeah. So who's using what abilities?
Augustine, because you said he doubled back.
Yep.
Which means he's coming back towards us, but trying to slip away still.
Yes, you are in the best position to try to keep an eye on him because you're still back there, and he doesn't know that you got stopped.
So with my passive being a 26, I'm assuming I can keep an eye on him enough that I can cast Arcane Gate, step out directly in front of him, and make him run into me.
Yes, you can.
And then thing I want to do. I'm sorry, hold on. Her sheet is very big. Okay. As I appear in front of him, I'm going to use my bonus action to do Unsettling Words and just say, "Now, are you going to stop running like a little bitch?" And I'm going to try and restrain him, which I know is probably not the best idea, but it at least gives them a little bit of time to catch up. And he is going to subtract a d12 from his roll.
Okay. Well, considering he rolled a 2, D12, fantastic.
Yeah.
He fails that, and that gives you what you all needed for your success. So, you have both managed.
Full tilt and I bear hug.
You have all managed to stop both Pelzer and Janos. And with that, give us all just a minute here so I can rearrange some things, and we'll be right back. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the stream because you know what? No, you know what? Let's vamp here while I'm trying to fix all this, everybody. So you guys vamp and talk about stuff while I'm trying to fix everything. Which one is this?
I rolled another nat 20 on my athletics check.
Hey, nice. Oh my goodness, why is this not working? There we go.
I also don't think the bear hug is necessary and would not advise because Augustine already wants to skin you and make you into a rug.
Let the bear contribute, Augustine.
Augustine is proud of herself.
I'm not bear hugging Augustine. I'm bear hugging Janos.
I have him pinned. I grappled him.
Oh, he was moving too fast.
I'm looking forward to this being exceptionally awkward when we all show up. And it's just a group hug to keep this guy here.
Group
Man.
hug.
You know, while I'm over here doing all this tech work in the background here, if you haven't been following me on all this stuff, there's a lovely couple of new releases I did that were previously only available for oh my God. Oh, thanks Scriptly for coming back now. Oh God, get out of here. Disconnect. I don't like you. Go away. All right.
At this point, I'll just pay for Zoom so we can just have it.
I am planning on doing it at some point. I just don't have the stuff right now. Okay, so that's me. Never mind. I got to go up like this. So yeah, on Drive-Thru RPG as well as Ko-fi, I have released some things that were previously only available to members. The Area Arcana Player, I think that's what it was called, and the other one is the Roses of Teshare. So check those out. They're free. You can go pick up a copy if you wanna see some of the chaos that's been created with the help of one of the patrons that support the fantastic work that I do. That's what I call it, but everyone else calls it insanity, and that's fine. I'm not here to judge what other people like and don't like. Just here to judge what I like and don't like. Why is this thing not doing that? Pop.
Because you needed to.
I mean, that's all
There we
writing. It's
go.
just someone sitting in a room hallucinating a story and then putting it down on page.
That's kind of what I do. All right, left. There we go. There we go. Perfect. All right, I think that. Oh, nope. We got one more, and that is yeah. Nope. Oh my goodness. Properties. I'm sorry, everybody. I hope you enjoy this stream. It's brought to you by My Ineptitude. And don't forget to join us tomorrow with City of Illumination when we find out that we are quite literally our own consequences.
Yeah, we're in a
And we
bit
are
of a pickle.
That doesn't surprise me.
unapologetically us. Welcome to the
Literally
Black
walked into
Ballot,
a trap,
everybody.
you know? Sometimes it happens.
It'd be like that.
All right, here we go. We're almost there. Thank you all for being so patient with me as I go through this process of fixing everything. If you like what you're seeing here, you should definitely go to biscuit10rpg.com and support me. You can either go there or Ko-fi if you want, but I will tell you that Ko-fi is going to get dropped at some point. I did a whole thing. I wrote up a thing about it. You can go read about it. Yeah, you can do all that stuff. And I think, yeah, absolutely fantastic. We got it all figured out now. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. Let me go ahead and scroll down here to see what's going on. All right.
Well-oiled machine.
Okay, someone gets caught. All right. Once the dust has settled and you've managed to bring them into custody, what happens is you both, half of the party's over here with Kelzer and the other half's with Janos. Finally, the Nixian guard catches up. And these are Nixian guards that none of you have met. So it's not like you're like, oh, hey, I know that guy. They literally tell you all to stand down and present your hands for arrest. What do you do?
Thought I had the
That-
right to bear arms.
One of the Nixian guards looks at you and goes, "That's a funny joke. We cannot take your bare arms. If we could, well, I guess we could. Sergeant." But they
Augustine's gonna look at the nearest guard and just say, I'm willing to come with no issue. Is restraints really necessary? I'll just come.
It's a safety precaution for the public.
We're really only
A
really
safety
only
precaution
chasing them
against the
because they
people who
exploded our guy.
assisted in capturing them.
I guess I wasn't done fixing this. I apologize, everyone. There we go. There we go. Perfect. He looks at you, and it's kind of like a look of like, and I'm just following orders. Like he's like, he hands you the cuffs and says, you just put them on yourself. Whatever. It's just that there's a whole group of you, and there's like, nope, never mind. Here they come. And the sergeant, one of the lieutenants, walks up behind him and goes, "It's fine. This one's a known quantity. Maybe next time don't run." And they're like,
Well,
"Just follow
I
us."
didn't try to hide. I just tried to help you catch them. I happen to know how dangerous at least one of them is, so.
Our guide exploded because of them. So
Very well. Well, if you're willing to come peacefully, Janos is very, very much still fighting to try to run away, but then sees that he's starting to be surrounded and kind of relents and just puts out his hands. The absolute grip that Riva has on Kelzer is the only reason that she relents. So they both get cuffed, and as long as you all don't try anything crazy, they lead you to the interrogation hall. They pull you all into separate rooms and begin asking you a series of questions like, who are you? When did you get here? Why did you run?
In our
We
defense,
asked
we
you to
were
stop.
running towards the problem instead of away from it.
kind of a character flaw.
Didn't run. I did your job for you.
Wow. All right.
These poor guards, there's only gonna be, like, 2 objectively nice ones in this group, and Lord knows which ones it's gonna be.
So you all are fine. You all go through your interrogation. You answer honestly, I assume. Some of you with a bit more of an attitude than others. Specifically the ones that are
I'm
like, "I
already
did
dead.
your job."
I,
They
I'm
they
already
let
dead. I'm just don't want any of you to die because that bitch killed me, almost killed me multiple times when I was alive, and in the afterlife. God. Anyway,
So, what happens is you find all of you yourselves brought before the sovereign and the arbiter, Valen, uh, the two majestic folks that you had met previously. After hearing, Ashlyn listens to all of your accounts of the wild chase and the unfortunate incident that prompted it from atop her throne of glowing bluish bones that dominates the throne room. After hearing everyone's side of the story, from you specifically, she will separate you all and have you escorted to private antechambers to await her judgment. You all assisted in the capture of them, so you will be modestly rewarded in crossway coins for the House of the Sovereign. They're not necessarily newish ones, but I'll get you the values of them after game today. So just make a note on your sheet and we'll talk about it afterwards. Neither Kelzer or Janos, in the face of an unknown authority, will speak other than to proclaim their innocence and request immediate release. While Ashlyn is not pleased with the lawlessness of the day, she understands how their circumstances are far from ordinary and is inclined to grant them clemency. After you attempt to gather information. So what happens is she takes you all to antechambers, and as you're waiting there, you're all separated, just kind of pacing the room. Ashlyn will come and Valen actually comes to each one of you and opens the door and says, "Hey, we're having some issues trying to get information from the two people that came. And Ashlyn wants to let them go, but I would prefer to know how they're connected to all of this before we do that." And Ashlyn's given me a little bit of time to do that. And seeing as how you helped us capture them, we would appreciate any help or insight you might be able to give to us in regards to their affiliations or maybe getting information from them yourselves. If you'd be willing, we obviously offer some additional currency in exchange.
honey, we're
Yeah,
happy to help.
I can tell you all about her, but you shouldn't let her go. You'd be a damn idiot if you did.
Not my choice.
I would at least require them to have a handler of some sort for the first couple weeks that they're here. I mean, they came here in unusual
Handler.
circumstances.
She deserves to be put in the ground again. Right? She doesn't
Honey,
need a
we're
handler.
dead.
Yeah, and she splatted someone else, so someone should do that to her.
They're dangerous. You saw them in the market, right?
What
I
I
don't know
saw
that-
was two people that ended up in a place that they should not have ended up in and reacting in both fear and psychosis.
Fear.
Dangerous.
Well,
Yeah.
I hate to be the one
at
to
least
play
one of
devil's
those will
advocate.
come from where they started.
I hate to
I
be the
mean-
one to play devil's advocate, but to be fair, they have existed in reasonably polite society before. There is the possibility that they won't cause as much of a fuss as we think.
I think one of them will cause less of a fuss than the other.
Mm,
One has been kind of causing a fuss since probably the day they were born. Or reborn,
Yeah.
whichever way you want to swing that.
The problem I see is that they were both generals for King Dorian from the Shadelands. Don't want them trying to, I don't know, gather up an army of the dead or whatever to storm the beaches of the living, or I wouldn't put anything past
The
that lady.
terrible. I don't know if there's a guy, but Calzea is a terrible. Or Rizal is a terrible person. The idea
Do
that
you
you're gonna
also
even let her walk around freely, it's ridiculous.
do you all think that this is the first time people like them have ended up here? Do you think that really, truly, they cannot handle things if they start going sideways? I mean,
they
Ashton is
needed help to
the leader
catch
for a
up.
reason.
Oh,
Those specific gods, yes.
yeah,
In a
Valen,
moment
I
of chaos.
Valen
mean,
we
looks
just
at
need to.
Cut
Valen
him
looks
loose,
at
do
all of
whatever
you.
you're gonna do.
Valen looks at you specifically, Issa, and says, I mean, yeah, it's unexpected. No one's ever landed in the city before.
If you're gonna cut him loose, but I wouldn't do it without keeping eyes on him.
That is something that I would also request. If possible, once we do cut them loose, if you're up for it, maybe doing some reconnaissance for us and finding out about who they are, depending on whether or not you can get them to talk to you and lead you to their sides, if you can take them to their camps, what have you. The only thing we'll be doing is dropping them off at the gate. What happens to them after that is their own choice.
I
do
don't know,
have one
Reva. Would
thing.
you be able to handle that? Reconnaissance? Not trying to kill, pretending to play nice? Can you handle that?
Sure, yeah.
No, you can't.
For the first time
I-
in like a couple of days, since you've heard from Sword, Sword just whispers in your ear, "You're a liar." And not even a good one.
Whatever. It's not my job. So what? I
I
want to
do
kill the
have one
woman.
thing.
She deserves it.
If we were to do this, I
One
would
second,
say that
Augustine.
perhaps
Icarus, what were you saying?
Oh, I do have one thing. Tell Kalzir I'll return her old crossbow to her if she's willing to answer a few questions about what happened.
I mean, you can offer that yourself. We're willing to let you walk in there. Of course,
Okay.
leaving your weapons with us. I don't want to start a fight in the antechamber, please.
Fair enough.
Sure.
I
They
don't
are
know that.
unarmed as well.
I don't know
I
this
mean, she
Janos
did
guy, but that
indirectly teach me soul magic, so I'm ambivalent towards her at best.
Fantastic. Augustine, what was yours?
I was just going to say, if we do this reconnaissance, then I advise that we have groups for each one, and Reba, I say this as your friend. You're not doing reconnaissance on her, specifically. We need people who will not want to rip her throat out. And I might be able to get her to talk as well. I can't guarantee it, but she did have an interest, and she knew me before, so.
Wait, which timeline is this Kalzir from?
Issa.
Doesn't matter.
Issa's gonna. I don't know Janos specifically, and I'm willing to go in and talk to him and just see if a neutral party might get some information.
It's
I don't know
fine.
how helpful it'll be, but it's better than nothing.
Whoever would like to, we can take you individually into the chambers. So, who would like to speak with Janos? The one you're calling Janos. All right. Okay, you two. You two will follow me, and the other ones that wish to talk to. I'm
Kalzir.
confused. Some of you are calling her Rizel, and other ones are calling her Kelzir. Which name is it?
It's possibly
Rizel.
both. It's a split
She's a
timeline
vampire. I
situation.
think she's had multiple names over the years.
Very well. Who wishes to speak to her?
No, Reba.
Why not? I can't
No.
speak to
Because
her.
I
your
am feeling
hands
the
are
bloodlust.
weapons, Reva.
Oh, come on. What, I gotta cut off my hands to go talk to her?
Please don't commit a
You
murder in the administrative building of the
My entire
afterlife.
body's a weapon. I'm always armed.
you said have us go in individually. Compromise, Reva, if you are really that determined. I know what your impulse control is like. I'll go in with you.
None of us have room to talk on impulse control.
Fine,
I
whatever.
do.
I'm fine with that if they are.
Out of character,
We're gonna have
arguably,
the guards.
Augustine does not have impulse control issues.
How did you get here?
That was an impulse. That was a very, very educated decision. She
So
thought about that.
calculated.
He's just really bad at math. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the group that's going to talk to Janos. Let me Janos. Okay, let me go ahead and scroll all the way to the top because otherwise it's going to take forever to find this. I apologize, everyone, for nothing. Okay. All right. It's not the right place. I'm looking for stat block. There we go. All right. All right. So, you all end up going to visit Janos. So, Issa and Rosina. To give you a description of what Janos looks like now that you're actually able to take in the full image, he is adorned with a thick beard and a ragged mop of dirty blonde hair that obscures his ears. Janos is actually a half elf who can easily pass as human from the way that it looks like he carries himself. Um, Issa and Rosina, you recognize that the heavy armor he wears bears the Legionnaire's insignia, and helps to obscure his patchwork. Oh my! All right. Yeah. So you see that something that you don't quite see what it is, but on his hand it looks like he has it looks like to be stitches going down one of his hands. Um. So yeah, you walk in, and Janos is just sitting kind of sullenly at a table. Uh, his hands are not bound. He seems to be very well put together, but definitely not happy to be here. So, as you both walk in, the door closes behind you. Valen, as you're walking in, says, "Just knock on the door when you're done, and we will let you out." And then the door closes behind you with a soft click. Janos looks up and says, "Hello."
Hello.
Can I help you? I wasn't aware that you were working with them.
To be honest, I don't think we were either. But needs be and all that.
This is your interrogation, so go for it.
It's just gonna be 45 minutes of awkwardly staring at each other.
Janos isn't going to open up about anything, so you're going to have to ask questions.
Do you know how long you've been here?
Here, like in this room, or here in the
Vicinity.
vicinity? I believe the first time I got here was when I crashed down and we ran off.
Where did you crash from, if you know?
We came from the Shadelands.
Where specifically? We're also Shadelanders.
He looks at you for a second and goes, "Oh, I guess the rumors weren't true." They said that
Depends
you
on which
still
rumors.
lived, but it seems that you have passed on.
Seems you have as well.
Yes. Um, Lacroix and Dorian are still up there having their lovely war, and we are trying our best to. It's starting all over again.
And it's
Yeah,
not good
he
that
must
either of us are here.
he must be from your timeline.
Mm.
No, that is funny because you're all like, no, Lacroix's dead.
Right.
Do I want to know what rumor is being said about me? Other than that, I am, well, here.
Well, the the rumor is that you've been carrying the lines of Dorian and cutting off supply lines the best you can with your group of what they would call extremists and what we call vigilantes.
Tactful on both of your parts. I appreciate that.
I'm tactful. They are not so.
Never were.
It's a shame we couldn't have teamed up. We could have done a lot together.
We could have. Who knows? Maybe we still have the opportunity.
Possibly. Is there a reason I'm still being held here?
It's kind of a curiosity that you landed in the city itself. And so we're tasked to find out any information on that and also if you're going to be a problem here.
I don't really plan on being a problem. I don't even know how I got here or where here is.
You might have died.
You definitely died.
Did I definitely die or did I might have died?
We're
I'm
dealing with some weird timeline stuff, so it's possibly a 50-50.
What do you mean timeline stuff?
I mean that Rosina's from the Shadelands and I am also from the Shadelands, but she, to the best of my knowledge, isn't dealing with a, shall we say, freedom fighter versus Dorian versus the Legionnaires versus everyone else situation.
We killed
Well,
Lacroix.
well, yeah. I mean, he looks at you both dead in the eyes and goes, "Yeah, you worked together.
What?
Yeah, you both worked together. Like there was separate teams. We heard about it, and Lacroix was taken out. It was only very recently that we something changed in the Shadelands and Resurrection started working again.
Cool.
Hey, what happened to your hand?
It seems that being dead should have been the end for me, but that's not what happened. I was cut down the same time she was, and somehow, despite what we had become, there is still enough of us left to find an afterlife, or whatever this is. To be
Did
fair,
somebody
I'm not quite sure what it is.
To be fair, we're not quite sure either. There seems to be a bit of a learning curve here. Were you both cut down by each other, or did somebody else get you both in a go?
Oh no, we both killed each other at the same time. It was kind of an calculated risk on my part that succeeded. However, it cost me my life as well. I uh, honestly did not expect to be anywhere after I died.
I'm not sure if I'm sorry or congratulations are in order, but pick whichever one you want.
Depending on what this stitching means, I will hold my decision until a later time.
Fair enough. They are going to let you out, but if you two encounter each other on the streets again, is it going to be a problem for everyone who lives here?
As long as we are released uninhibited, I do not foresee anything taking place within the city. Right now, my major goal is to get back in touch with the Legionnaires and see what state they are in,
Good luck
if
with
any.
that.
Which sidebar, is there a way to do that?
What do you mean?
Not like
No, that's me as a storyteller. What do you mean?
okay, thank you. Like, is there a way to like get in contact with the living?
I mean, there are ways. You just don't. You're unclear on what they would be. You're so new here.
Okay, fair enough.
Some of you have heard tales that that the pale horsemen travel between the worlds. Um, but other than that, no, not that you're aware of.
Do you have any idea where you're going to be staying, or do you know anything about like what you're gonna do when you get cut loose?
Well, considering the fact that I saw fellow soldiers raining down along next to me, and landing outside the city, I assume that I'll be meeting up with them.
Okay.
You saw them landing outside the city?
Yeah, what do you think all of the things falling from the sky are?
Ah,
I mean, we've seen some pretty weird shit fall from the sky fairly recently and kind of attack, so it being people is the least weird thing so far.
yep.
I can only tell you what I've seen. I'm not quite sure what's happening here in this realm and whether or not this is normal or not, but what I can tell you is that I will not be a problem, at
Understood.
least for the interim, as making it back to my post is my responsibility at this moment.
Alright. I mean, good luck, and I hope you find your men. Maybe find a shepherd, get some understanding of how this place works before you venture outside the gates.
Well, we'll see if any of those shepherds are out there helping people, but it looks like it's a war zone out there.
I mean, there is that. You can probably find one of them in the city before you head out, even just to get a short and dirty of how things are going out there.
I assume that's something I could ask our escort on the way out, but absolutely. Okay. So, do you have any other questions for Janos?
Not that I can think of.
Not really.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and cut over to the Helzer team. You see the Issa and Rosina guided off to a room down the hallway. Another Nixian guard, his name is Malachite, walks up and says, "If you'll follow me, I'll lead you to the chamber." You all are led down the opposite direction, and a door is opened, and Kelzer is inside, and she has a pretty jovial smile on her face, as if she's kind of just amused more than anything. Um, she's short. She's a pale, vampire-looking type with blood-dyed hair and a wide grin. Uh, She is adorned in a full plate, and wearing two barbed and bloodied gauntlets, that you remember seeing that they had been wrapped in magical chains. Uh, Despite trying to look as intimidating as possible, uh, outside of if it weren't for that armor, she'd be almost cute. So you walk in, and she is actually still chained to the table. And you walk in, and she looks at you, and she goes, "Oh, hi. Interesting. I seem to
Hey,
recall
girl.
two different stories, and I don't know how that works."
Well,
What?
I may be the first to say, welcome to the afterlife. Enjoy your stay. It's gonna be a long time.
Yeah, who's the lucky guy that killed you?
Oh, you mean
Riva,
Janos?
go.
He's super cute.
Yeah, what happened there? Seems like you maybe broke his heart, ripped it out of his chest, and then ate it in front of him.
Ah, what do you mean? I was the one with the sword in my chest. Seems like he broke my heart if you want to split hairs about it.
Or like split your chest about it.
Ooh, kinky.
Icarus, stop flirting with her.
Honey, unbridled aggression isn't going to help here. Sorry about him. He's the good cop. I'm the weird cop. She's the I'm going to kill you if you even twitch wrong cop.
Ooh. Maybe I should be talking to her. She looks directly at you, Riva.
Why would you want to talk to me?
Because you're the one that looks like you have wanton violence in your eyes. I feel like we could relate on a deeper level.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone would after they're looking their murder in their eyes, right?
What? No.
Mm.
Oh. And as you say that, she looks puzzled at you for a second, and then something clicks. And she goes, "Oh, no, no, that's a past life. That's not me anymore. That was Rizel. What you see before you is Kelzer. See, we've changed. We've evolved, even." And she looks at you and goes, "It seems we're not the only one. If you recall what you had to do to kill my sister."
I just wish I got to do it to you too.
Well, maybe next time you won't sleep within 100 miles of where I sleep. But it's hardly a big problem now. So how's Sword?
Augustine, do you want to take the conversation?
Oh no, I would also like to know how things are going with Sword. Still haven't picked out a
Same.
name for her?
I'm working on it, actually. Isn't this supposed to be
Yeah.
an interrogation of her, not me?
Honey, it can go both ways.
No, we're getting paid to interrogate her.
So
Getting paid anyway.
I'm so
Also, we're dead. But money doesn't really matter anymore. It's just kind of like faster access to things.
Yeah, and some of us would like fast access to things, believe it or not.
anyway. I'm so sorry. What is the name you go by in this play?
Kelzer. It's the whole story. I'd hate to bore you with it. But Riva, if that's still what you go by, I see that you've had a change as well. But
Why would it not be what I go by?
I mean, you've changed. You could reinvent yourself. You could
No, I'm
be
not.
something new, someone new. That other part of you that you sense is there. You could take that in
Be
and make
careful,
it part of you.
Riva.
Listen, I don't know what you think I am, but I'm not like you. Right?
Oh, you're more like me than you think. So, I'll stop teasing you for a second while I sit here and think about a name for your sword so I can take her away from you.
Reba fully summoned sword. It was like ready to attack. Like storming
Reba.
over.
So you try to
Reva.
summon sword, and sword literally goes back into your hilt.
I see how it is. Okay. No, it's fine.
So, if I'm recalling correctly, and this is weird because I've never experienced this before, I met a little kobold that talked about crazy things like this happening from time to time, but there was a memory of my sister coming back, and you two failed utterly to try to save the one that I stole from my other sister. And you, if I remember correctly, you almost managed to kill me.
Yeah.
Your name was
Yeah.
Icarus, right? I followed up
Yeah.
on you after that happened. I think.
I mean, I get it. I'm an interesting person.
Keep telling yourself that.
Oh my, lovers quarrel.
Oh.
Do tell. Maybe I should do the interrogating.
Eh,
My dear, I'm a
Well, hey,
lesbian. I wouldn't touch him with a
here's-
10-foot pole.
well, here's the thing. We almost killed you with a skewer with bacon on it. So there's that. I mean, not the most glorious death, is it?
I mean, no. But it was magic, and that happens. And it wasn't only that. If I remember correctly, you tried to put me in a box of force, and I countered it and threw it back at you, didn't I?
Yes. Thank you for teaching me that trick, by the way. It was like my little
Absolutely.
introduction to soul.
Speaking of which, I'm trying to recall. You were a bard of some renown, and then you dropped off and then came back. Wow, I had to pull a lot of favors to find out about you, my little tiefling bard. If the rumors are true, you gave up everything for love. Now, if that's true, that's beautiful and gross. However, what's not gross to me is what happened after. I find it poetically tragic. So after you died, fate carried on and tried to build that council I guess everyone was working on. Only as the days went by, the loss of the one that she had grown connected to slowly wore on her. And I think she lasted maybe a year. And then she just disappeared. No one's been able to find her. People have reached out. People have spent millions in favors and coin to try to locate our field maiden turned celestial patron. And all they're met with is the same silence that she was met with so long ago. And then after she left, Dorian was left unchecked. And it got darker, it got creepy and spooky, and all the things from beyond started coming out. The council fell apart. All that we found in the aftermath, before Lacroix came back and started making everything difficult again, stubborn bastard, was a letter. Oh, I don't remember what it said, but I do remember it was very heartfelt and sorrowful. And I remember your name was at the bottom, or at the top. Yeah, my dearest Augustine, I wish you could hear me or see me, or I don't know. But that was the only thing that was left before she left. For what seems like ever. I guess it's been 19 years now?
If Augustine tries to reach for her magic, if she tries to cast a spell, can she feel her magic there? Like, does she think she's capable of doing that?
Yeah, it's there.
Let me double check something real quick. My concern was that Reva was going to lose her temper. Oh no. Oh. Okay.
Since I'm also a magic user, am I able to feel her building magic?
But it depends. Like, you won't sense it like as she's thinking about it, but if she starts to do something, as you're both similar in casting, you can sense the power coming once she begins casting something, if anything. And as you're figuring out whatever you're doing before you even get a chance to throw it off, like, you're still going to do whatever you're going to do. That's fine. I'm not stopping you. But she looks at Riva and she goes, "Ah, I've got the name for your sword. She's a Cassandra."
That's very funny. I cast Branding Smite on my fist, like I just fucking uppercut her.
As that's happening, Augustine's going to cast Dissonant Whispers, but is going to make the whispers in her mind echoes of her past lives. She knows Ryzel's voice, and she can sound how similar they sound. So it's just going to be like voices from her past lives criticizing everything she's done, essentially saying she's a lesser life and she's not worth as much. She is casting this. So stupid. This is so stupid, but you had to go for fate. She's casting this at 9th level.
Okay.
And will bonus action with cutting words to subtract the d12 from the save as she says, "You don't get to fucking say her name." And it is a wisdom save. DC 19, subtract a d12.
Okay. Yep. She would have failed, but she uses a legendary resistance. And she looks at you and goes, "Good. That's the Augustine I remember, and that's the one I want to see here." So whatever happens, happens. Like, if she takes psychic damage or whatever, go ahead and roll that.
Half of this, so...
And then, Riva,
11.
Go ahead and roll to hit with your fist. You have advantage because she is literally restrained.
27 to hit.
Yeah, you hit.
Am I allowed to cast Branding Smite on my fist? Does that work?
I think it has to be a melee
It has to be on a
weapon.
weapon,
So
I
your
think,
fist
right?
is technically a melee weapon.
Alright.
I will
Oh,
allow it. Go ahead and smite her with your
Uh,
fist.
Nice.
This is already halved, so 34 points of psychic damage.
It is 7 plus 8 plus 5, which is 13. 5 hits radiant, if it means anything.
Alrighty. Let me find the statistic for this one. Oh, did I not? Oh my. Okay, no. There we go. Alright. Like, as the fist hits her, she goes, "Oh. Oh, good. It's the you I wanted to see too." Although, and then as the psychic hits her, she spits up a little bit of blood and she goes, "Oh, yes. I like both of you. This is wonderful."
Why is the literal bear the nicest one in the room? This is weird.
And she's not going after your partner.
I mean, fair. My partner's already gone, so it's not like she can do anything.
Okay, so as this is all happening, she takes the smite, she takes the psychic damage. Who am I echoing off of? No, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my mic just down a tad. There we go. Okay, good. So as she takes this psychic damage and she takes this smite, she just looks at Riva and goes, "You know what? I think that if I weren't in these chains, I could do more than you. I think I could take you myself. But I think I'm going to do one better. I know that they're going to let me go. But I think when they let me go, I think I'm going to take something with me. I mean, obviously, if she wants it.
So unfortunately, she doesn't like weak people.
Ah, interesting. You saw how many people it took to take me down, right? Isn't
Sounds
that
like it's
right,
just one guy.
Cassandra?
And yes, we looked at you, and she punched you once, and you're coughing up blood.
That was from
Again,
you.
the sword
Uh-oh.
doesn't like weak people.
So everyone just moved around because Roman turned.
My camera just turned off.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
So
Are we having? Oh, there we go. Okay. So, she just looks. She goes, "We both know that wasn't her." She looks directly at you, Augustine, and she goes, "Besides, Cassandra wants someone who's strong and respects her, and will be respectful in return to those that she deems strong. And if I'm not mistaken, she once had a thing for my past life. Cassandra, do you still have those residual feelings?" I rolled a persuasion. I'm going to go ahead and Reva, I'm going to give you a contested persuasion or charisma check of your choice to try to
Arctic.
counter this thing.
Arctic.
I have
Take a bardic.
to roll persuasion to make sure my wife doesn't leave me on the spot. Okay.
we're gonna have a duel for Sword's honor.
Insane. All right. That's pretty decent. That's pretty good, actually. 15 plus 10 is 25 in a bardic.
Yep, D12.
Plus 9. So, what is that? 34?
Okay. Let me double check my stats here. There we go. Okay.
We already finished our interrogation a long time ago.
We're just out there, just like, so if you take a left, you're gonna run into this really cool bar. There's this tiefling. What is that noise coming out of that room?
Yeah, so I'll get to what you all hear after this, because this is going to be wrapping up probably 5 minutes after you all are back in the hallway with Janos just waiting. And there's going to be some conversation. We'll get to you. Sword, you hear out loud. Everyone in the room hears, because Sword comes out of the sheath and looks at you, Reva, and says, "She gave me a name. But I'll stay with you for now." But she did have a point. I demand you fight for my honor. You versus her. Not now, obviously, because it wouldn't be fair. But I sense a strength in her, just like I sensed a strength in you. And then she turns back into a sword and reappears in your hilt. And all you see sitting across the table is the most psychotic grin on Kelzer's face. And she looks at you all and goes, "Did you have any questions? Or were we just going to sit here and flirt the entire time?"
I mean,
Yeah, I have a
I
question.
was gonna get to questions, but they both decided to punch you. I would have joined in, but my spells aren't exactly environment friendly. So we're gonna have to reschedule that for another time. Anyway,
Give me a time and
Right.
place, Kelzer. I'll
Okay.
fucking kill you on the spot.
I hope you do. I hope you can back up the words that you are saying, because otherwise, I will take what you so dearly cling to, just like I took from your friend over here. And she stares directly at Augustine.
I'm feeling very ignored over here.
Anyway, you
No.
had questions? And she just
Right.
completely ignores you two now. She's like,
Right. So we're we're investigating a series of strange events that's going on right now. You may have noticed that you crashed into the city. That is not what's supposed to happen. You should have
Good to
crashed
know.
into the wheat fields outside.
Uh-huh.
It. What are your general plans once we let you go?
Meet back up with my crew, see how they're doing. And then after that, once we figure out what's going on, find the who's who of what's what, causing general mayhem as always.
Well, before you do all of that, I would at least recommend you find a Ashen Shepherd to give you the down low, quick version of the whole thing. Maybe go visit the Pond of Remembrance.
Yeah, there was a skeleton would have been really useful if you didn't, splat him.
Oh, is that what we landed on? Interesting. So as you
mean,
guys have been
he's a-
talking, when you first came in here, you noticed that she was actually chained to the table. When she said, like, when she was being like, whatever, she actually did raise her hands up and she's just got them like free. Like the entire time she's just been sitting there taking it, just enjoying the overall vibe.
Yeah, and I mean, sounds like we have a duel to plan. Would you be willing to have us act as a what's the word?
I don't want you there while I'm fighting for my wife's. No, not you.
Oh, we can find a neutral ground, I'm sure. Hell, we can even fight in the middle of the Legionnaires' camp if you want.
It wouldn't be much of a 1v1, would it?
I mean, you'll need all the help you can get.
Like, so cocky. If you died to a single guy, as far as I know.
That's just what you saw.
You're lucky I don't come into your room and kill you like your sister.
Oh, cute. Your idle threats are adorable. We'll see how it really goes. So if you're done, I'd like to go now.
Yeah.
Reba, dear.
Last thing, guys, please. Can I come to your camp and be your liaison or whatever? I mean,
No.
wait, I
want
like
one of
mayhem. What?
I want one of them. You don't flirt so good. They do.
I
Well,
won't.
You and me,
I will
Augustine.
push you so hard once. I just want to get
I'll
out
do
of
it.
this building before I
Oh.
unleash my spells.
Oh, you want to fight
But-
too? Oh, we can do that. Absolutely.
I mean, yeah. After all, I do have to return the crossbow bolts that you gave me at
You still
full
have that?
velocity.
I wondered where that
Yes.
went. I upgraded.
Yeah, I picked it up along with your little memoir on how to use soul magic, so we can see how that works in the afterlife.
Ooh. So you've learned one of the arcane secrets I had laying around. Fantastic. Actually, you know what? You're all welcome to come.
Fabulous. I mean, I still have to pay you back for you turning around my notebooks on me.
That's true. So, Augustine, what were you going to say to Reva?
Leave pieces of her at the end. At least leave her breathing. I'll finish her off.
Yeah, it's a big ask.
I know it's a big ask, but you want to imply she had something to do with Fate disappearing? Fine, I'll bite.
That was me? I mean, I imply a lot of things, but you'll never prove it. If anything, you're the reason Fate disappeared.
Just for things like that. That is why I want to kill you.
Oh. Just tell me I'm a good flirt and get on with it.
I mean,
No,
they're
you're an
they're so
atrocious slut, just like
melodramatic,
you were in your
aren't
last life.
they seem
So
to be treating everything like it's a life and death deal. Well, we're already in the afterlife, so
While you three are finishing up your conversation, I assume there's not much more going on. It's just kind of like, the back and forth banter of just people like asinine threatening each other and, promises of violence, and it just escalates, right? And then eventually you all go, fine, shut up, whatever. We got to get this out of here. We got to get this out of here. You, Issa and Rosina, you are walking out with Janos. And then as you're walking down the hall, you hear the sound of what appears to be, or what seems to be, the splitting of divine power, shaking, not necessarily like the whole like structure, but definitely a vibration coming from a room, followed by like a squeal of ecstasy as you hear like what sounds like a just wet cough afterwards. And that's what you hear. And Janos just goes, "Oh God, she thinks they're flirting with them."
I mean, she strikes me as a fighting or fucking kind of person. I don't want to know which one's happening.
Me neither.
It
But
was a bad idea to send the three of them in together.
so that's what you hear on the outside. Augustine, Riva, and Icarus. Is there anything else that you perhaps wanted to ask or say before we kind of slightly fast forward a little bit to exiting the room?
One thing.
Sure.
I mean, I've been in the city long enough. I'm sure I picked up a map during that time. I'm just gonna be like, because I know you're gonna get into things. At least take this map so you don't, run around looking for something, breaking into places when you could just go right to the place. Call it my little gift to the city.
He reaches out and takes the map and goes, "Oh, I will put this to excellent use." And she puts it
You
in her
got some
pocket.
brown on your fur from all that brown nosing. And Augustine just turns and walks out of the room.
So you knock on the door to get let out. Malachite is outside, and he goes, "The interrogation finished?"
I'm finished.
Okay. Come on out. You're ready to come out. He lets anybody else that's ready to come out. So the same thing happened with the other two, Issa and Rosina. You all had like about 5-10 minutes to talk to Jalen prior to Janos being let out. So we're going to go ahead and do a little recap here of what information you actually tell the Nixian guard about what you found out, if anything. And then based off of that, I will award you accordingly. So we'll start with Issa and Rosina. What do you tell Jalen about what you found from Janos?
I mean, we didn't learn anything that should technically be a secret, so probably everything.
Okay.
Yeah, they killed each other. He doesn't know why he landed in the city. It's raining men outside the city.
Hallelujah.
Bodies are hitting the floor.
Okay. I'm assuming you let him know that you did request to be a liaison. Okay. So that's good.
I'm also going to mention the stitching on his hand, not necessarily because it's like bad, but it's something we haven't seen before, so maybe they know what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you noticed that stitching wouldn't make sense because those of you that had in life, stitches or scars or anything along those lines, you realize that those are just not there. You are the perfected versions of yourselves or what you portray yourselves to be. So unless you thought that was your perfect form, having a stitch on you, it doesn't make sense that a stitch would exist. And Jalen looks at you with very serious eyes and goes, "I do believe we will have to keep an eye on that one, as he is one of the soul-stitched. We will let the Pale Horseman know."
He said he was looking for his men, considering that that's a lot of the bodies that are hitting outside the city. It might be in everyone's best interest for him to help round them up.
Okay. Fantastic. Both of you are going to get. Oh, hell. Perfect. You're both going to get 6 Crossway coins, and the value of which will be a higher value. So you're going to get a total of 7. And like I said, we'll discuss that after off camera, so that we can get you the information that you need there. All right. So you guys have that conversation. Out comes Augustine, Riva, and Icarus. Malachite is joined by Valen as you exit, and Malachite goes, "Oh, sir," and walks off. Valen walks up to you and goes, "Did you learn anything that could be helpful?"
I mean,
Oh.
Augustine will tell him everything. It doesn't, like... the non-pertinent stuff, like the stuff specific to Yonkath, not really, but everything else, yeah.
Yeah, everything. So leaving out the
Remember.
personal stuff, I imagine.
So are you gonna
Not-
tell?
Not telling about the duel.
You're not gonna tell him about the duel. Are you gonna tell him that you both rough
I
in a
mean,
manner of speaking, or are you gonna leave that out too?
I mean, she's like, I think because it's a branding smite, she is like on fire or glowing, so it's like obvious if you look at her.
Oh yeah. She
Right.
looks
Augustine's
damaged.
not hiding it. Augustine's not hiding it.
I'm not gonna deny it, but like, I'm not gonna like be like, yeah, I punched you.
Yeah, they won't notice anything until they walk in and go, "Holy crap! What the hell happened?" But yeah. So
One thing, she does seem to remember 2 different lives. After all, these 2 have encountered a different version of this lady than I have. She only respects strength, so basically she's gonna leave the city. We're gonna go there, probably beat her up a bit, and then we're gonna figure out more from there, because that's the only way she knows how to communicate.
is she going to cause problems inside the city while we're escorting her?
Probably. She's
Probably.
not the
Probably,
not troublemaking type.
But I did recommend that she find out more about the city before she do anything, and she does seem to be interested in rounding out her people first before planning any shenanigans. So
She's
Fantastic.
self-proposed
So-
changed person, so I'm sure she's so nice and gonna be just perfect soul as she walks through the city. You have nothing to worry
Fantastic.
about.
Triple the guard on the way out. Then understood. All right.
Yeah.
You 3 will get, including the one you've already gotten, an additional 2 Crossway coins. All right. So, before you're all let out of the city, you 5 are brought before Ashlyn, as she's kind of Valen is reporting some of the information that he got from you and asks that you join him in the throne room. She looks down at you all and goes, "I appreciate all of you helping apprehend these 2. I wish that it could have been a little less extreme, obviously, but it seems that it was unavoidable. That being said, I do wish to convey, if you have not already been told about it, we are going to be having what is called the Shepherd's Feast, which is a celebration of the shepherds and the work they do here in the Sunless Crossing. Johann was supposed to deliver a letter. I don't know if he managed to do that before his untimely demise. From my understanding, he disappeared, but he should be back tomorrow. That's how this place generally works. You die again, you come down the next day. So we've got a few days before the feast itself. I encourage you to find a tailor. You will be my honored guests for all the good that you've done for the city and helping us. It would be my honor to have you at my side at the festival. Just a token of my gratitude. I will send someone out to help you with finding, if you wish to find different clothing or dress up. I know that it seems like a weird time to have a festival, but this happens every year, and with the chaos that's going on outside that I'm sure you are now aware of, keeping up a good face and helping the people stay calm is in the best interest of the realm. So that is why we're doing this. Again, thank you for your time and your help. Valen bows to her, and he escorts you all out. You're all free to walk with them. In fact, you're invited, since you were the ones that helped apprehend these two. You get no trouble from either one of them on the way out of the city. They are, however, kept at least 4 people apart, because there's just this like sneer on Kelzer's face, and Janos is just very like just he's minding his P's and Q's, and she is just, no matter how she is acting, her eyes are seconds from violence and glee every moment.
The
So-
2 types of people that get sent to the principal's office.
Absolutely. So, you are all escorted to the edge. Now, I know that some of you did plan on going to escort them back to their separate camps, and we will address that when we come back in about, I believe, 3 weeks. And that's where we're going to pick, we're going to leave off tonight. The 2 interlopers that crash landed into the city, killing a dear friend, I assume, unless you all hate Johan, which is really your own fault, not mine. You have escorted them outside the city and will be heading separate directions to their camps and learning more about them. Some of you potentially sparking a duel of sorts, and others of you actually doing reconnaissance. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and have a wonderful rest of the evening. We'll see you tomorrow for City of Illumination, and we'll see you in 3 weeks for the next chapter of Red to Black, the Black Ballad.